Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are ranking the Premier League fans for the upcoming 22-23 season. Before we get into this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll just give you the context on how this video is going to work. So we've got the 20 Premier League teams scattered across the bottom here, and then we've got the four categories: the elite fans, the big fans, the solid fans, and small for the fans that I think, it's just not very big, really, their fan base. Let me know your thoughts down below as I go through this video. And obviously, it's not just going to be a case of me putting the big teams at the top and the small teams at the bottom. I'm going to try and do it based on my actual feelings. Let me know your thoughts down below. First up then, Arsenal, the Gunners, big club, obviously very big fan base as well. I think they're in the top 3 or 4 biggest clubs in the country, obviously. Successful club, not going to take anything away from them, and obviously will always have good numbers home and away. When I'm going to compare them to some of the later clubs in here, I'm not going to put them in elite, but they have a big fan base, so they're going in the big category for me. Arsenal's fans are a very loyal bunch. There has been times where they've not turned up to some home games when things haven't been going very well, but they're a big fan base. They have to go in that big category. Any Arsenal fans watching, let me know if you agree down below. Next up, Fulham. Now, Fulham in the Championship last year, I didn't think they were one of the best fan bases. And compared to some of these Premier League teams, I'm going to have to actually put them in small. I remember on some of the away trips they went on last season, they didn't take too many. I've always said fair play to the fans that do go. But I think comparing them to some of these, I'm going to have to put Fulham in small. Can get a bit of decent noise going, but like I say, I'm comparing them to some of the other clubs here. I'm going to have to put them in small. Next up, Liverpool. Probably one of my favourite fan bases out of the top 6 clubs. Really big fan base. Obviously, Liverpool are a massive club. Them and Manchester United are just huge. Liverpool are going to go in big as well for me. You could argue that they are elite fans because I've said before how they can turn a tide in some games, and their fans are everywhere. They're universal Liverpool fans. They're absolutely everywhere. They're passionate and they're proud. I'm going to put them in big though, because I'll tell you why I'm going to put teams in elite later. Liverpool are going in big. Next up, Everton, who massively went up in my estimations last season because of what they did for their team. Everton's team last season were absolutely shambolic. They were really crumbling, and I thought they could go down. And for me, one of the reasons they stayed up in that 21-22 season is because their fans got them over the line. I like Goodison Park. I think they fans are noisy at home and on the road. Very passionate. Once again, they're Scousers, so, they're proud, they're passionate. They're going to go in big. Everton have a big fan base as well. There's lots of Everton fans everywhere. They're going in big. Next up, Brentford. Now, Brentford are obviously one of the smaller fan bases. I'm not trying to take anything away from them because I appreciate how far they've come, and I really like what they're doing as a club. I want them to stay up each season, and I was really happy they did last year. But when we're looking at fan bases, they've got a hardcore fan base, but it's not massive. I think they're a nice fan base, but I'm going to put them in small. Next up, Newcastle United. I like Newcastle's fans, and this is the first one to go in elite because Newcastle, for me, are just amazing when it comes to their fans. I mean, they are so loud for every game. On the road, they take thousands everywhere, and I think it's amazing when you consider how far Newcastle is from London and all the southern teams. They are absolutely monstrous, the Newcastle fans. They are some of the most passionate, honestly. Newcastle, Sunderland, some of these northeast teams, just so passionate about football. It's what they live and breathe and die for. Newcastle are going in elite. I'm also going to put Leeds United in elite. Leeds have a fantastic fan base, some of the most passionate. When they were in the Championship, I was just gobsmacked by how many brilliant fans they had, the noise and everything. Elland Road, what a stadium. I think Leeds have to go in elite for me. I prefer away trips to St James's Park, Elland Road, Villa Park to going away to the top 6 teams because the noise is brilliant at these clubs. Leeds United have some of the best fans, if not the best. Obviously, they'll be very passionate next season as well. Aston Villa are also going to go in elite. I think Villa fans are obviously very important to their team as well. They can roar their team over the line at home and on the road. Villa Park can absolutely rock sometimes. And honestly, the amount of Villa fans I've seen going anywhere across the country, they are everywhere, aren't they, Villa fans? Very big club, very passionate fan base. They are also going in elite. Next up, AFC Bournemouth. I think you know where I'm going to put Bournemouth based on the size of the club and the fan base. Don't get me wrong, the Bournemouth fans that do go are a very, very loyal bunch, and obviously because their stadium's small, they can fill it out and get some decent noise going. So Bournemouth fans are underrated, but when we're comparing them to some of these Premier League massive clubs, they're going to go in small for me. I do like Bournemouth fans though. They're very respectful. I've got a lot of them on the channel, and yeah, I've got a lot of nice things to say about them, but they're not one of the bigger fan bases. Next up, Brighton and Hove Albion. I like Brighton's fans. I think they're a very decent bunch of fans. They're not quite on the top 2 levels for me, but I'd say they're a solid fan base. They've been consistently getting good numbers at home for the last few years, on the road as well. They're a club going in the right direction, and you can see the fans are buying into that. Solid fan base for Brighton and Hove Albion. Next up, Leicester City. Leicester City is an interesting one because Leicester as a club have been growing really well over the last 10 years. Honestly, some really, really good business. Obviously, climbing through the Championship, winning the Championship, obviously winning the Premier League. Who saw that coming? As for their fans, though, they're there every step of the way. The Leicester fans are really loyal and passionate, and I'm going to put Leicester's fans in solid. Next up are Chelsea. Chelsea fans everywhere. I really respected the Chelsea fans. They were some of the first to knock that first brick out the wall when it came to the Super League, because remember, the Chelsea fans were stopping things from happening at Stamford Bridge. So I've got a lot of time for them for that. Obviously, Chelsea fans are everywhere. Not quite going to put them on the same level as elite with some of the clubs I've already put up there, because I still prefer St James's Park with the atmosphere to Stamford Bridge. But the Chelsea fans are also very passionate, and they are a big fan base. They're going in big. Next up, Nottingham Forest. They are going in elite for me. Nottingham Forest fans will be brilliant next season. I can already tell, because they're back in the Premier League. So many new away days for some of their fans. And when they go to the City Ground, some of the away fans from the other teams, they'll be in for a surprise, because the Forest fans really, really, really impressed me last season. I've said before, honestly, the noise they can make. I just love that mull of Kintyre before kickoff. I think it's amazing how they can all get up and sing it together. Really passionate fans, and they deserve to be in the Premier League. They are elite fans, Nottingham Forest have. Next up, Crystal Palace. I'm also going to put them in elite. I did a stadium video the other day, and I spoke about Selhurst Park, and I said one of the things I love the most about it is the atmosphere. As for the stadium itself, it's okay, but I just love the atmosphere. The Palace fans are absolutely unreal. Some of the best fans in London, whether they're at home, away, they travel in their numbers, and they're some of the noisiest. Honestly, they can really make a stadium rock. Palace fans also have to go in elite. Next up, Manchester City. Now, obviously, as a club, they are a big club now because of obviously what they're doing on the pitch. But when we're comparing the fan base to the other sort of top 6 clubs, it's not quite on that level yet. Obviously, I'm starting to see more people walking around with Man City shirts on than I did, say, 10, 15 years ago, because obviously people buy into that success. But when you compare them to the other top 6 clubs, I think they've got a pretty small fan base. Obviously, they've got a bigger fan base than some of the teams in the Premier League, but I'm saying comparing club to fan base, I'm going to put them in small, actually. I do like the fans that go. There's lots of Man City fans that are loyal and have been there since before the success, and I respect those fans the most. But comparing them to the size of club they're becoming, the fan base isn't the biggest. Next up, Manchester United. They are a massive fan base. I think them and Liverpool are the biggest fan bases in the UK. Manchester United fans are everywhere. They are absolutely universal. Manchester United are obviously one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they have a very, very big fan base. So they're going in big for me. Obviously, they can be very passionate, very loud, very noisy. Obviously, I've said before about Old Trafford, you can get quite a few tourists there, which kind of kills the atmosphere. I like their loyal fan base, though. Next up, Southampton. Solid fans for me. They're not going in small, but they're not a big fan base compared to the top 6, so they're going in solid for me. Southampton, yeah, like I said, St Mary's, they get good numbers in there. They make a decent noise, and on the road as well. Not a bad travelling and following, usually. I'm going to say solid. Next up, Tottenham Hotspur. I'm also going to put them in with the top 6. Obviously, very, very big fan base. Tottenham fans, I see quite a few of them everywhere. And do you know what? I really need to get to that new stadium. Obviously, I've not been to the new White Hart Lane. I went to the old one, absolutely loved it. And the Tottenham fans are big. They are everywhere, like I say. So they're going in big. Next up, West Ham United. West Ham are a club I've got a lot of respect for. I've said in my stadiums video when I spoke about West Ham's fans how much I preferred Upton Park to the London Stadium, but it doesn't take anything away from the West Ham fans, because still at home and on the road, they are passionate, they are loud, really, really big fan base. West Ham, I'm going to put them in big. I know they're not one of the top 6 clubs, but their fan base is pretty massive, really. They're some of the best supported in London. I'm going to put West Ham in big. Last up then, you've got Wolverhampton Wanderers, and do you know what? I'm going to put them in elite as well. I've been really impressed by Wolves fans over recent years. They're obviously buying into what they've been doing as a club. They're going in the right direction, and Wolves fans are really passionate. I just have this thing for Midlands fans. I think they have some of the best fan bases, and Wolves are right up there. I'm going to put Wolves in elite. So then, that wraps up my video, guys. Just a quick one ranking the Premier League fans for the upcoming season. Obviously, I've put them into different categories than compared to my other videos. Let me know if you agree down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.